Naked Truth, The Rise of Sokoto, The Story and Origins of the Sokoto Caliphate. In the heart of 18th century northern Nigeria, a young scholar, Usman Dan Fodio, sat beneath the vast desert sky. He was a man of faith, a man of knowledge, who saw a world plagued by corruption, injustice, and moral decay. The rulers of the Hausa city-states oppressed their people, exploiting the poor and straying from the path of Islam. Usman knew that the time for change had come, a change that would soon reshape the entire region. In the wealthy kingdom of Gobir, Usman Dan Fodio began to preach. His sermons echoed through the streets, calling for reform, for a return to Islamic principles. He spoke of justice, of equality, and of a society where the people would be free from tyranny. But not all were pleased with his words. The rulers of Gobir, blinded by power, saw Usman as a threat that had to be silenced. Usman's following grew. From Fulani headsmen to Hausa commoners, many heard his call. He spoke not only of faith but of freedom from the chains of corrupt rulers. And so, with each passing day, the seeds of revolution were sown. Usman's message was simple: a just society is one governed by the laws of Allah, not the whims of kings. As Usman's influence spread, so too did the fear of the rulers. King Yufo, once a student of Usman, now stood as his enemy. The king's court grew restless, and whispers of war filled the palace halls. "This man must be stopped," they said. "His words would destroy our kingdom." But Usman would not be silenced. His mission was divine, and no king could stand in his way. And so, Usman and his followers made a choice that would change history. Under the cover of darkness, they fled the lands of Gobir, seeking refuge in the wilderness of Gudu. In that desolate land, they made an oath, a sacred hijra. "We will build a new society," they vowed, "one that honors justice, one that upholds the laws of Islam." With their backs against the desert sands, Usman's followers faced their first true test. The armies of Gobir marched toward them, weapons gleaming under the scorching sun. Outnumbered and outarmed, Usman's small band stood firm, their faith unshaken. The clash was fierce, but in the end, Usman's forces emerged victorious. It was not just a battle they had won, but the hearts of many more who would join their cause. In the new stronghold of Sokoto, Usman Dan Fodio raised the banner of Islam. It fluttered in the desert wind, a symbol of hope and unity. The time for jihad had begun, not a jihad of conquest, but a jihad of reform, a struggle to bring justice to the oppressed and to restore the true spirit of Islam. Sokoto was no longer just a place, it was a movement. One by one, the Hausa city-states fell. But the greatest prize remained, Kano, the jewel of the north. Usman sent his son, Muhammad Bello, to lead the campaign. The city's walls were high, its defenses strong, but Bello's forces were relentless. After a long and brutal siege, Kano fell. The Caliphate had claimed its crown, and the power of Usman's movement was now undeniable. Zaria, too, would fall, but not through brute force alone. Usman's daughter, Nana Asmayu, a brilliant strategist and scholar, played a vital role in shaping the tactics that led to Zaria's capture. Her influence extended far beyond the battlefield, as she helped create the educational and social structures that would guide the new caliphate for generations to come. Victory brought new challenges. Within the ranks of the caliphate, tensions began to rise. Disputes over power and resources threatened to fracture the movement from within. Usman, now older and wiser, sought to mediate, urging unity and patience. But the price of revolution was high, and the path forward would not be easy. Under Usman's leadership, the caliphate expanded beyond its borders. Fulani warriors and scholars spread across the land, from Sokoto to the far reaches of Adamawa, carrying with them the message of justice and reform. The Sokoto Caliphate was not just a political entity, it was a beacon of Islamic learning, culture, and governance. In his later years, Usman turned from the battlefield to the pen. His writings on governance, law, and justice laid the foundation for the caliphate's future. He emphasized mercy, compassion, and fairness. His vision was clear: the ruler is a shepherd, and the people are his flock. These teachings would shape not only the caliphate but the entire region for centuries to come. As the years passed, Usman Dan Fodio stepped down from power, entrusting the caliphate to his son, Muhammad Bello. In a solemn ceremony, father and son stood side by side, the torch of leadership passed from one generation to the next. Osman's legacy was secure, but the work of the caliphate was far from over. The final battle for control came at Gwandu. Muhammad Bello led his forces against rival factions and external threats. It was a battle that would determine the future of the caliphate. In a dramatic clash of swords and strategies, Bello's forces emerged victorious, securing the caliphate's dominance over the region. Though the years have passed, the legacy of the Sokoto Caliphate endures. Today, the descendants of Osman Dan Fodio still hold positions of influence. The caliphate's ideals of justice, education, and governance continue to inspire millions. The story of Sokoto is not just a story of conquest, it is the story of a people united by faith, guided by principles, and driven by the pursuit of a better world. This is the legacy of Osman Dan Fodio, the scholar, the reformer, the leader, the man who built an empire of faith and justice. His story is a reminder that even the smallest spark of truth can light the flames of a revolution.